Hello, I'm Scott Bogey here with Alice Blackman ahead of her fight against Tilly Czurejno. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. And how has training for this fight been so far?
Yeah, really good. Been training really hard. I'm actually over in Chicago at the moment,
Yeah.
training over here. So yeah, it's going really well.
And what do you feel like the benefits are from going abroad, being able to explore these different gyms, give you a little bit of a new insight into your game?
Yeah, so where I'm at, VFS, it's like
Yeah.
a an unbelievable gym. I got loads of UFC fighters in it, and they train hard at like twice a day every day. So it's just I'm not learning anything new really because I sort of know it all. It's just
Yeah.
getting the rounds in with some really decent people, and just getting the experience really. I've come over here every year. This is my third time over here, so I know the people well and we train really well together. So yeah, it's just getting the experience really.
So is this kind of like just your normal routine? Is like this time each year is when you take that time off and go to the States?
Yeah, so I normally go at the beginning of the year. Yeah, yeah. That's when it's
And
like quieter work and things and stuff, so it's easy to go over at that sort of time.
And obviously, Tilly was not their first opponent for this fight. It was meant to be Ryan DK. How how does changing an opponent affect the game plan, or are you just really focusing on yourself for the fight?
Yeah, so to be honest, I never really look at my opponents. It's just the same goal every time.
Yeah,
I trust my coach to do that sort of stuff. And he'll match me with some people that he thinks is a good match. So I don't really look at other people. I just focus on my own game plan and never really change what I'm doing. Same goals, same things.
and then it seems like in your career has taken such of a turn for the better. You had a rocky start of the career, however, you're now starting to get back into the win column. What has been the real change? Has it just been your overall game just improved, or has there been something that has affected it?
Uh So the biggest change probably would just be my self-belief. When I first started doing it, I doubted myself quite a lot, for no real reason. I just because I haven't been doing it for that long, I
Yeah,
always thought that I was never as good. But over the last sort of year, 2 years, I've come to realize that I train so hard and so much that it doesn't really matter about how long I've been doing it. And I've been getting so much more confidence, especially going to these other gyms where these top pros are fighting. And I think like they're not training any harder than me. They're
yeah.
not. So I think it's just self belief, to be honest.
And do you feel like last year you did have quite a few injuries, which did hamper your activity, but you're looking for a very busy 2025?
Yeah, so last year we had a lot booked, but yeah, I had a couple of injuries, so I couldn't really do what I wanted to do. But yeah, 2025 is where it's at. Before last year, I was competing all the time,
Yeah.
and we're back to that. So already I've got like 5 matches lined up for March, like whether it's jiu-jitsu, MMA, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to carry on like that really until whenever.
And do you feel like people like Benny Ducey, he is showing the amateur scene how it is done. I think he's just got I think it's his eighth or ninth fight booked in like the span of a year. Do you feel like that is the important thing for you guys as you are developing, is to just get as many fights as activity as you can, whether it is fighting, whether it is grappling, competitions, just keep yourself active.
Yeah, 100%. That I don't think there's anything better than competition. I've learned so much, and especially where we're amateur, like that's the time
Yeah,
to do these things because then when you're in competition, you're just doing what's natural to you, and that's where you pick up on things that you can improve and
yeah.
things that you can do better. So I think the more competitions you do, the better. That's what my coach is always going on about as well. He's just like just get in all the competitions that you can, get all the experience, and then you fix all your problems. So then when you do go pro, you're ready. And also, it's like, stage fright and all of that. The more you
Yeah.
compete, the more natural it is, and just things flow when you're in there. Like, looking back to my first few competitions, I was unbelievably nervous. Like, I literally couldn't handle it. But now I get in and I'm like, yeah, this is where I am. I'm happy to be there, and I enjoy it, which is obviously when you do the best anyway.
And do you feel like a part
So
of
yeah, 100% competing.
yeah, and do you feel like another thing which does help you guys is organizations like Cage Wars Academy? They help guys transition into the pro scene, as well as ones like Fightstar, who gives these fighters a platform in the big arenas like the Indigo in the O2. It just gives you guys that experience before you turn that pro.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, all the different shows they're so great. Even the smaller ones they're really run really well. And I think, looking at the first sort of few pro fights, to me, I don't really see much difference in the promotions and things.
Yeah.
Like, I think, yeah, it's good. It gets you ready.
And how big do you feel like the Molly McCanns and the just now the Kennedy Freemans are for bringing women into the sport?
Yeah, it's amazing. Um, it's unbelievable. Like, when I very first started, the reactions that I got about doing MMA was
Yeah,
really, like, they were really shocked, and no one really knew about it. It wasn't a thing. But now, yeah, you look at these girls who are really making it, and you think, wow, like, we're teaching the we're teaching kids that it's good to do this sort of stuff, and it's good to take pride in what you're doing and be strong and be fit and do all the stuff that you want to do.
yeah. And you also have got organizations out there like Invicta as well as Combat Global. I think they announced that just the other day, where they are just all female shows, which gives you that platform to even just showcase your ability even further.
Say it again. I'm so sorry, I didn't hear.
You have got organizations like Invicta who are like all female shows, which just brings
Yeah,
more lights onto the female MMA scene.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think they're smashing it. Um, all the promotions are they, and that everyone, they big girls fights up so much as well. Like, they promote it so well,
Yeah.
and advertise it so well, that I think, yeah, it's only going to get bigger and better. Really, girls fighting.
And are you just looking to focus on straw weight, or are you looking to do a mix of whatever you can get? Straw weight, flyweight, whatever they offer is what you'll take.
Uh, so before, I took fights all over the weight classes. Like, it didn't really
Yeah.
matter too much. But now, where we're getting a little bit more serious and things like that, yeah, I'm gonna try and stick to a lower weight. Really, I think, if I can.
Yeah, exactly. And with the straw weight, you did also have that fight, Willie versus Tatiana Suarez, which just recently happened in the UFC. Did you watch that fight?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
how did you find that?
Yeah, Tatiana's like my favorite. Yeah, I loved it. Tatiana's like my favorite. I think she's absolutely amazing. And I love the wrestling background that she's got. I think she's incredible. And I think she did really well. I think they both did really amazingly.
Yeah.
I wasn't that surprised at how it went, to be honest, but yeah, they were both incredible.
And I think the rumor is after if Shevchenko can get past Fiont in her fight coming up, I think the plan is Willie will vacate that belt, and then you're gonna have that super fight between Willie and Shevchenko. How do you feel like that they two match up against each other?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think it'll be they're both so powerful. I think it'll
Yeah.
be crazy. I think it'll be crazy. I have no idea how it'll go, if I'm honest, but I think it'll be mental.
And do you feel like that fight is just gonna put a lot more eyes? It could main event one of the pay-per-views.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I do.
And
Yeah, I think
how
it's great.
And how big do you feel like the UFC are obviously coming to London in March? How big do you feel like their presence in the UK will have on that MMA scene just to bring more eyes onto the sport to try and grab those people coming up?
Um, yeah, I think UFC coming to London, it's like the biggest thing, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. It's literally the best thing that can happen.
I think the only criticism some people do have is the fact that it is a fight night. They did have that opportunity to try and bring one or two more people who are probably doing it on the regional scene into the UFC, like the George Hardwicks, the Luke Rileys who are smashing it over in Cage Warriors. They probably that was their chance of welcoming them into the UFC. I know Luke Riley, he said he's fighting his last fight on his contract, so we'll probably go into the UFC after that. But who do you have anyone that you know who feel like could make it into the UFC if they got put into that opportunity just now?
I don't really know, to be honest. I'm not really sure.
And like you're saying, you've got quite a lot of fights coming up in March. So what is the schedule? After this fight, what is next?
What's next for me?
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. We'd like to go pro this year. So that's all things going well. That's where we're headed. But we just take it as it comes. We're just gonna find some fights that my coach thinks will be good. And in between those fights, I'll be just doing jiu-jitsu competitions all over. Um, might take some Thai fights, but I think we've got so much competition experience now that we just kind of want to stick to MMA, because
yeah,
obviously that's our favorite thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, just we're just gonna keep training like we train, nothing changes, and take the fights as they come, and hopefully go pro soon. But obviously, we'll just see.
And do you have any other plans of going abroad for more training this year, or is it just gonna be this camp and then just focus on the UK?
I'll probably come back to Chicago maybe towards the end of the year. I go to Iceland grappling, so I might do that as well this year. But apart from that, I mean, the training at home, my gym at home, it's got everything I need. So
Yeah.
I'd just be happy just to keep training there. Um, but yeah, it's nice to get away every now and then, but no big deal if not, you know.
Exactly. And do you feel like that's probably where we have now it came and upgraded our level is that we have got a lot of gyms nowadays which does have that equipment like like the ones in the US.
Say it again.
So do you feel like the UK scene now with the
Okay.
gyms are matching the ones in the US? So that need to go abroad for that training isn't as needed.
I mean, to be honest, I think striking gyms, yes, they're good. Jiu-jitsu gyms, yeah, they're good, but the wrestling is not anything on the US. Like the gym that I'm at the moment, we just
Yeah.
wrestle all the time. Like, yeah, we strike and yeah, we do some jiu-jitsu and things, but the main thing is wrestling. And I truly believe that there isn't anywhere like this in the UK. And also, just like the work rate and the systems that they have, I don't think there's many places in the UK that has this sort of stuff. You know, I mean, VFS is like literally a world class gym. So I
Yeah.
don't know about other gyms in the US, but going on what I've experienced, I I don't know at any gyms in the UK like this, really.
No. That sounds great, and I wish you the best of luck for your fight. I know you'll go out there, get that victory, and we'll be able to speak as well one with that win in your pocket. Thank you for coming
Right.
on. Is there anyone you're wanting to shout out, or anyone you're wanting to, anything else you're wanting to add?
No, not really. I mean, thanks to all my teammates and my coach and things like that, but no, all good. Thank you so much for having me. We'll
No
catch
worries.
up after.
Thank you for coming on.